Welcome to Hair by Sonia, where hair transformation begins. Whether you're looking for a fresh cut, bold color, or a complete makeover, Sonia and her expert team have you covered. At Hair by Sonia, we believe every client deserves to feel confident and beautiful. That's why we use only the best products and techniques tailored just for you. From the moment you walk in, you'll experience personalized care and a relaxing atmosphere designed to pamper you. Our clients love their results. Just look at these amazing transformations. Join our family of satisfied clients and discover why Hair by Sonia is the go-to salon for your hair needs. Ready for a change? Book your appointment today and let us bring out the best in your hair. Hair by Sonia. Love your hair. Love yourself. She says sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome the usual suspects, former NFL players, Cedric Donaldson and Jameion Spencer. What's up, guys?
What up?
Can't call it.
You can't call it?
Can't call it, man. Can't call it. Hey, we still riding high right now, man, with Jamie's old coach.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. As long as you understood the Ole Miss assignment, you're welcome.
Tell him what happened today. What did your wife T do? What did she
Look,
do?
T went rocky. She went and grabbed Rodney's old jersey I had swapped in the closet, man. I don't even know where it was in the closet.
Hey, that's who I was with the whole time this weekend.
Were you?
Yeah. Let me see. Hey, but yeah, we had a good time, man. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. I'm still suffering.
Yeah, that ain't the only reason why you're suffering, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So guys, we are in week 6 of NFL play, and we're gonna discuss a few, 3 or 4 teams today. So let's start with the Bears, my Bears. I mean, I tell you, hello, Governor. We were in London on Sunday.
Hello, Leo.
Hello, Governor. We were in London on Sunday, and we did an amazing showing. I mean, and actually I had a lot of friends there at that game. But anyway, we beat Jacksonville Jaguars 35-16. Caleb Williams became the first Bears rookie with 4 touchdown passes in a game since Cade McCowan in 1999. Sad, were you with the Bears at that time?
No, 2000.
So you missed it by a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Jameion, is this significant milestone for both him and the franchise? Is this a significant milestone?
I thought I wouldn't call it a milestone as much as a confidence builder. It was Jacksonville. And I think Jacksonville is we're not gonna talk about Jacksonville, but I hate Dougie P going through that right now. But Sunshine gonna have to get it together over there. But nonetheless, I have been impressed with Caleb and all the weapons they got over there. They seem to be kind of coming together, putting some things together. You just want to see him carry that momentum, that train. You want to see him ride that train as to what they're doing. They got way too much power on that offensive side for them not to be putting up points and going through the struggle. So maybe this to kind of give him a little bit of confidence to know that, hey, he can handle the speed of the game. It's just a matter of going out there and playing, just letting it go to play now.
Yeah, that's true. And like we just said, it's the Jags. I get it. They're 1-5. However,
they're terrible.
Terrible. Not terrible than Mississippi Valley State. They're 0-6, so they're not as bad. But said, and I'm gonna ask this anyway, could this achievement highlight Williams' potential as
becoming a top tier quarterback later on?
I don't know, man.
We can't look at it like that because it was the Jags.
That's the Jags. I mean, you can look at it like that, because he is who he is or whatever. He was the first pick in the draft. Real good player. But sometimes when you get to, take that trip across the pond, you're away from everything, you can focus more. And when I saw that boy walk in the locker room with that Mary Poppins trench coat on, I was like, he better do something today. He better do something today. So, but I mean, it's only a matter of time, man. When you're that good in college, it's just a matter of time for him, man.
I agree. And about the Mary Poppins outfit, and we've had this conversation before. I just really wish we could and I'm old school through and through. Can we just go back to how men used to dress? I mean, not judging you.
Pandora's box is open.
It's open, bro.
You can't put nothing back. You can't put that box back in the box. No, it's open. It's a wrap.
I'm so attracted to see a man in a suit, and I can just see Michael Jordan right now. Okay, whatever. I'm going to ask both of y'all this question, and Jay, you can start off. Could such a performance indicate his ability to adapt quickly to the NFL and contribute effectively to the team's offense?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think, the mark of a solid QB in that league is, for one, being able to control the game, control the speed of the game. Recognizing coverages, taking advantage of those back doors where you have them. You saw he didn't make mistakes. He didn't make those rookie mistakes, forcing the ball, or he controlled the line of scrimmage with the snap count, which I really like. I really love QBs. I feel like that's a lost art. You saw him get the Jazz jump off a couple of times just off of snap count cadences alone. So that in itself lets you know that he's getting in tune. He's getting warmed up. He's getting lathered up in terms of understanding the flow, understanding what he wants to do. Even where he put some of his misses, the ball locations and his placements were actually pretty good. So I was very encouraged to at least see it. I'd be excited. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm excited to see, because you got a QB, right? You got a QB, you got receivers, you got a running back. So you got to get some solid O-line play, that's there. And I think a lot of that is to the quarterback helping those guys out and making sure he can put them in the right play to make them successful.
And before you respond, said, Jamie, you just said we got a QB. We had a QB in Justin Fields. Was it because we didn't have the right pieces around him because he's doing well in Pittsburgh? Was it probably the front desk? The front office. What do you think?
So it's a difference. So I think it's environment, right? So any young QB you bring into that league, you can't just throw them in and say, go win games, right? I mean, that everybody's in that league is way too good to just say go win games. I think what the Bears did not do that they're doing now with Caleb is that they did not bring in people to foster his ability, Justin's true ability, right? I mean, Justin is a very talented individual, but what we try to do is we try to showcase Justin and say, hey, I want you to go win games the same way you won games at Ohio State. That doesn't work, right? Caleb, they brought in kind of that whole staff, that whole support system that it allowed him to transition from college to the league, right? Taking that speed of the game, taking a lot of things that he's already known and saying, hey, how can we make you more comfortable in doing the things inside of the system that allow us to be successful? And again, when you get into that environment, it works a lot better. It's a lot more, it's a lot more accommodating for a young QB to understand it. And at a certain point, you'll push them out the nest to see where they go. And then that's where you'll start to see the fruits of their labor start to all come together.
Gotcha. Very good. Sid?
I think it's two things, man, for Caleb. First of all, I was telling my daughter today, she was talking about missing soccer practice. And I said, hey, what if you only miss 2 soccer practices or 3 soccer practices a year? And the girl that's playing with you, she never missed a soccer practice. And she's 8 right now. I said, so when you 18 years old, if you only miss, 3 a year and she never missed any in 10 years, she got 30 more practices than you. Do you think she's going to be better than you? And she was like, yeah. I said, well, it adds up over time. And that's what the Justin Fields, you're looking at a Justin Fields that got 2-3 years in the league right now. Put him back in this situation, rookie to rookie, like you said, they didn't take care of Justin. When he came in, he had to go to learn a pro system.
Yep.
They brought in the people to help transition, just like what they're doing with Jameion Daniels in Washington. So, and speaking of that, you got the first and second round draft pick. First and second pick in the draft. And Caleb is looking at Jaden doing what he's doing over there. He a competitor. You better believe. Oh, he 4 o'clock in the morning. He working out. Yeah.
Ego gets tapped. Yeah. Ego.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome, man, to see both of them grow. I like the fact that Caleb was tucking that thing, getting you don't see it, run for 3, 4, slide. That's going to open, as the game goes on, that's going to open up the passing game for you. You can't just put everybody in coverage. Somebody got to come up and spy if he's going to take off. Being an LSU fan and a Dak Cowboy fan with Dak Prescott who won't do it, it sucks when you got a quarterback that won't take, the 3 yards and try to throw it in double coverage.
We got a whole conversation about Dak, man.
I'm trying to stick up my Bears story. Later with that crap. Look, now
they're just trying to get their money out of somebody, man. Look, that's all they doing.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
The Jags loss to the Bears was their 10th loss and has the coach trying to stave off a losing culture for the franchise. What can the Jags do to break out their 1-5 slump against the 1-5 New England? That's so weird saying that. New England Patriots coming up this Sunday.
I think they gotta, and this is not anything against Trevor Lawrence, right? But he's a quarterback. Sometimes, man, you gotta sit him. And it might not be all his fault, but you need to move him out, put somebody else in there to see if the team will rise. And it might just be a sugar high. They might rise for that one game, but it'll give Trevor Lawrence like some kind of, because he's a leader. And if you keep losing and you're the leader, it's coming back. It's coming back to you. You and the head coach, the quarterback and the head coach, that's who's gonna get it. So I think they just need to sit them because they have talent over there, man. It just ain't coming together for whatever reason. And I like the coach over there. I don't think he's a bad coach. It's just the culture is bad or something,
Yeah. Jay?
Yeah, I'd agree. And I'm gonna even go a little bit farther because look, Dougie P is a good friend, fantastic, quarterback when he played. He's from Monroe, so we all know Doug for a long time. But I think squarely this falls in his plate. This in this arena, and now you have a chance to really solidify yourself as a cornerstone head coach in the league. Because again, you can bring in guys who are gimmicky. You can bring in guys who are system, driven. You can bring in a lot of guys who have that edge that give you, some developmental stuff for Trevor Lawrence and all that stuff. But you are the head coach. You got the whole pie. You got the everything. You got the whole gumbo. And knowing Doug the way we know him, he is going to find something to get that spirit back. When you watch them play, they just don't look like they want to play for whatever reason. They don't look energized. They don't look excited. And like you say, even looking at their defense, they've always had killer bees over there on defense. And to watch those guys make business decisions versus plays, it's not a good thing going on. So Doug's got to figure out, how he's going to tap these different buttons how he's going to get those veterans in that locker room to get those guys to respond. But nonetheless, I think it all falls on Dougie P right now. And and again, I'm rooting for him. I want to go and see him because they've got way too much talent and they got way too much potential for us to be watching them play the way they're playing.
Hey, God ain't gonna bless the Jaguars until they put Jimmy Smith and Fred Taylor in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, hey, you got a point. You got a point. Hey.
Hey,
just like that Cowboy curse with Jimmy Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And look, and the Chicago Bears curse.
Yeah.
So it's just get it together, teams, get it together. So, wow, this is my secondary team. Detroit, not Detroit. Detroit's Jared Goff went on to throw for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery ran for 2 scores, and the Lions blew out the Cowboys and gave him the 4th consecutive loss at home. So what is going on? What they brought Ezekiel back for $3 million for a year. It's like they spending money, but you still lose it. What are your thoughts, sir? This your team.
Hey, money can't buy you love, man. And so this is Jerry Jones through and through, man. It ain't gonna work, man. The culture is bad. You bring in all these boy coaches. The players are not gonna respect the coaches because they know the last word comes from Jerry.
Yep.
And it's just bad, bro. And I made this point earlier, right? So I think Nussmeier is still the quarterback's coach for Dallas. Mm-hmm. And Gary Nussmeier is the quarterback at LSU right now. Great kid, great player too, can throw the ball. But for whatever reason, man, and he's an athlete, he can move. He will not run. He ran for 1 first down against Ole Miss. And it was like, finally, even the announcer was like, finally, like, why? It's wide open. You'd rather throw it in the double coverage. And Dak at Mississippi State in his first year in the NFL, he was taking off. He was getting those 2, 3, 4 yards, 5 yards. But now, he'll rather throw it in double coverage. And that's a bad. When your quarterback is like that, it's just a bad sign, man. And they can't really do anything with it. They paid them all that money. You got everybody else mad. You had 2 guys hurt, but it don't matter because they was there when the Eagles ran all over them. So,
well, yeah. I'm gonna tell you this much, and I think, you're exactly right. This is a Jerry Jones problem. And what I see and when I watch the Cowboys is I watch a very talented group of individuals who are acting as if they're individuals, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're acting as if one-on-ones matter when you get into a game setting. They're acting as if, that their importance and their presence is so much more important than their ability, that they discredit it. It's sad to see. I think, when we talk about, Jacksonville and their culture and what's going on, but for me, if you're hurt and I've got my leaders sitting on the bench while my defense is on the field and they are nowhere near the sideline and they're out there hanging and joking, they're not taking it serious, who else would? Right? Who else is going to take this and say, yes, hey, we are in this together. We're going to do, no matter if you're on the field or not, everybody's playing a role. You can tell there is a lot of people in there who feel like their presence is a hell of a lot more important than their play. And you can tell something is not right. And I don't know what it's going to take, but you're definitely going to have to separate Jerry from that locker room before these guys get hungry again and get to playing, because there's nothing wrong with the personnel. They've got the personnel, they've got the talent. But for whatever reason, man, they want to play flag. So I don't know.
Well,
Jerry gonna sell.
Go ahead, man.
No, I said Jerry gonna sell them jerseys. He gonna sell that experience. So Jerry is still making money. Yeah. He's the richest franchise in the league. Yeah.
But okay, and I understand all of that, and I'm gonna get back to the jersey stuff too, because I got something to say to Jamie regarding that. You're like, what? But is how can who can talk to Jerry and say, sit your tail down somewhere? It's like he is drunk with power. And did he play sports when he was young?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah,
He
he
played at
played.
Arkansas.
He
Yeah, he
played at
played.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played at Arkansas.
Okay.
Played with Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Johnson.
So here is when I think Jerry is at his best as a GM. You know, yes, he's out there making personnel moves. He's going to do what Jerry does, right? But almost at a point where he hates his head coach is when they do well, right? Because you need that type of ego and personality at that head coach position who is going to put Jerry in his place publicly and probably behind closed doors, right? You respect each other for what you do, but at the same time, everybody knows where that line is. You know, he had it with, Jimmy Johnson, he had it with, Bill Parcells. You have that line when you have to say, look, when you hit this locker room, it's my baby at this point, so you have to be able to draw that. He loves the spotlight, he loves the attention, he loves what we do from an advertiser's perspective. But if he wants to be able to get his team back into those conversations again about championships and Super Bowls, he's gotta allow those coaches to do what they do, right? And I'm not talking about the ones that are gonna come back and report to me and send my messages and do my dirty. No, 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 dude. You gotta have you gotta have a pure a-hole who is there, who has it, who understands what it takes, and that who's willing to basically say, step back, let me have it at this point. Because without it,
You're right. We're
some
gonna
of those
keep
guys, some of those guys are gonna continue to just chuck it up like it ain't nothing, So
right.
And you can tell the sign of a good team, man. If the team is the coach set the culture, but the leadership is done by the players.
yeah,
And they have no leadership from the player standpoint in the locker room.
yeah.
So you got competent man Dak, then you got Micah who's about trying to get paid. He doing his podcast. I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna change. It's only one person that can change that, and that's the Lord. And
The Lord.
the Lord.
Wait, I thought you were about to say, and that's Jerry. He said, and you're right. He is the only one.
Yeah, the Lord. He the only one.
He said, the Lord. So, Jamie, back to you. And Cedric mentioned this earlier. So the last show we did, when we talked about Prescott getting this big contract, and I'm like, but he hasn't proven himself to get this type of money. And you said, well, they're gonna get the money back in jerseys, marketing, experience. But I had a friend yesterday on Facebook Live. You probably know Albert Coleman said. He went live yesterday. He's been a Cowboys fan since he was 10. He burned all his para. He is sick and tired to be
That's
sick and
crazy.
tired. And it's a lot of people probably doing it. I mean, it's just like it's too much stress and pressure. You buy the jerseys, you doing this, but y'all can't win a game.
But you know what's crazy? Here's the crazy part about it. We'll burn them today. They'll win 2 games and we'll go rebuy them.
Go revive.
We'll go rebuy them in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Because that is, it's not because look, it is all about the WWF mentality. Look, Vince McMahon laid this blueprint out to us many years ago. He said, you can be a good guy, you could win all the matches in the world, but it's until you become that supervillain, until people can boo you and hate you and want to pay attention to you and want to come to watch you get your ass kicked. Look, that is the ultimate sign of success. When you have people who want to come see you, you will go from look, I love you today, I hate you tomorrow. And as long as I have that emotion that's tied up in it, I'm paying attention to you. I'm always gonna dive in, find out what's happening with the latest news. I'm gonna always go get my ticket and support, and I'll go nowhere else. And as soon as you win that second or third game in a row, ooh, hey, we're back in. We're back in at this point.
See, I done broke up with the Cowboys like 99 times. But my rebellion is I don't own not one thing that's licensed that says Cowboy on it. That I don't buy any Dallas Cowboy paraphernalia, and I haven't bought anything for maybe the last 15, 20 years. Because Jerry, I know that's all he want to do. He's not worried about winning. He's trying to get me to come spend my money.
That's really sad, because that takes away from the experience for the players too, because they want to ring.
Yeah.
But he gets them because he just throwing money at them. It's like, here.
And he make them he make you a superstar. Like when you come to Dallas.
Yeah.
I get it,
He make you the center of attention, and that is what feeds a lot of these egos these days. Because again, look, how and I hate to say it, we can talk all the stuff in the work when we sit in front of the camera, but how many of these guys are truly doing what they need to do? How many times have you huddled that up and had a players only meeting and look, kick these coaches out and really had some real conversation inside that locker room? When the last time somebody got slapped because you didn't get it done, right? So when we talk about a winning culture versus a star-studded attention-seeking culture, I mean, that's kind of where we are right now. A lot of these kids and everything, yes, we throw some cash at you, it's all good. We'll play it out, we'll get our money, we'll say, hey, this is where we are. But ultimately, let's talk about those that get hungry enough to want to win. Who wants to win? And then let's have that same conversation about the things you're doing. Because half the people who want to win, you don't see them on social media. You don't see them hanging out on podcasts. You don't see them spending more time advertising themselves than they do perfecting their craft.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Well, let me ask you one question about the Lions.
Love Dan Campbell. Love Dan Campbell.
We said that last year. Like the Lions coming, man.
Yeah. So y'all still believe they're the real deal?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Look, and anytime you can play the way you did and send all the subliminal messages to the Cowboys, to Jerry about why I didn't get that job and how I grew up a Texas boy and I was a Cowboy fan and how I'm going to make sure every lineman on my squad can get a chance to score a touchdown. And look, I'm going to pull every trick. Look, I'm going to make you regret not hiring me. I love Dan Campbell, and he does it his own way. And he's evolved this year, and that's the scary part about Detroit, because where we were talking about them going for it every time, bypassing the points, he did not leave a point on the table this past week, and that is now the new norm for him. Kudos, coach of the year. I tell you right now.
I'm not looking forward to playing them, but hey,
I'm cheering for him to be the Super Bowl. I think I'm. That's why I want. Yeah.
Of course the Bears, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I really am.
Y'all let go of David Montgomery to go to Detroit too? Oh my God.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my God.
They was trying to kill y'all, and they did. It was.
Did you see how the boy gave that boy the round man the week before last week? Oh, man, that was terrible, bro. That was terrible.
That was terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking of terrible, the Saints have been on a 3-game losing streak.
Thank the Lord. Can't have the Cowboys losing and the Saints winning.
You sure been using the Lord. You've been bringing up the Lord a lot this show. Thank you, Lord. Let's thank him. It's being reported that a 3-game losing streak has a direct tie to the Saints' playoff history. And the Saints lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday, 51-27. The last time the Saints lost 3 in a row was back in 2009 when they won the Super Bowl. You remember that, Jamie?
Oh, yeah.
So you remember that? The Saints started 13-0 before losing the last 3 games. Actually, the last time the Saints had a 3-game losing streak and made the playoffs in the same season. Well, I was saying actually that's when they did that. Jay, the Saints got 12 more games left in the season. Do you think they can turn it around?
Yes. Yes. Saints is a good team. You know, they have they've done this every year. And I think the Achilles heel because of the way you know the organization has run that team is that they're very thin. They're very thin in a lot of key spots. So health is always going to be a concern.
Mm-hmm.
Early in the season, I think what you've got now is that you got a lot of these guys that are tanking it. I'm going to say, right? It's a long season. They're tanking it. We're going to start seeing a lot of these guys get healthier and healthier as we get along. I'm just curious to understand, again, from an O-line perspective, are they going to get their key guys back? And is David Carr going to be able to stay on his feet? You know, because without those two pieces, they could just be another first round out exit or not. And that'll be the difference with them. And I don't need David Carr to be, you know, who he was against the Cowboys when he came out there, you know, slicing and dicing the way he was. I just need him to be on his feet to be able to distribute and manage a game at this point. Because without it, they're just going to be an average team. But they've got the personnel to make a run.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, man, that O-line gonna have every all the Saints cars rattling, whatever all the quarterbacks they got back there. It ain't gonna be. Hopefully they'll get their people back, man. I make fun of the Saints, but after they whooped the Cowboys the way they did, I was like, man, if they can play like that for the rest of for the season, they got a real good chance. And the Super Bowl is in New Orleans, so. But I don't know, man. I don't know if they could get it back on the road to get to the Super Bowl. Looking at who they would have to go through to get there, man. I'm thinking like, bro, you got to play like Detroit, killing people right now. I don't know. I think the 49ers might have a chance to crank it up and get it back in line before the Saints, only because they're just a year removed from it, and they still have most of the players. So the Saints got a good squad, though. I'm not going, and they are thin in a few places. They're old in a few places too, where they need to, they need to get younger. But don't tell my wife I said it, but they can get there. As I say that, she started to call me. I ain't asking.
She knew it. She knew it.
She said, "Oh Lord."
Wait, what is he doing?
Speaking of old, Aaron Rodgers, Jesus eyes. What are y'all about about this game? We'll say it. I know you didn't get a chance to see it, but Jamie, what are your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
So
against the Bills.
I'm gonna put it this way. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. Okay, love the way he tosses the ball. I hate it when he's not playing, because when he's not playing and he doesn't have that chip on his shoulder, he's not the same Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. I think the Aaron Rodgers we're seeing right now is really better than 75% of the QBs in the league, right? Even these young cats that we have. He can still spin it like no other. His age is showing, and the way he's moving, he's able to buy some time, but he's not the same guy. And you can tell mechanically he's throwing it, but he's not that gunslinger that we saw. And again, I'm not sure if it's a matter of where we are because of the coaching changes and everything that's happening. You've got a lot of talent around you, but we're not watching him take that sidearm and spin it in those odd, awkward positions, off kilter, off of his feet like he normally would. He's really been mechanically playing it very sound. So I really feel like he is physically not ready to be Aaron Rodgers yet. But nonetheless, though, they're competing, right? They're competing. And I think the big thing with the Jets, though, is I'm really curious as to where this defense went this year, because that was the stronghold of that team. We just hadn't seen that defense perform like we expected them to see.
Okay. See?
Oh man, I watched them last week. This game, I just want to see how the Jets react to firing the coach, and you'll learn a lot about how they react tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, he's gonna be Aaron, man. He is 75%. I mean, he's in the top, 25% of all the quarterbacks. But I didn't play a long time, but I knew toward the end of my career when it was almost over for me after a major injury. I tore my knee up. I was trying to bounce back. And every step I took when I was running, I was still about as fast. I was still running in the 4.4s. But man, it felt like I felt every step I took, like the reverberation up my leg and through my spine. I was like, man, like,
This is some different turf, man. They changed the turf.
That sound hurt.
Yeah. It's like you running and you hitting the ground so hard, the muscles they're not absorbing like they used to. And he's coming off an Achilles injury. That's young. That's tough for a young person.
Yeah.
So, I know we saw Tom Brady do it for years, running a 7.9 in the 40 or whatever. But, Tom was still fairly young when he was doing it, and he got his body right early. So when he got old, he was rarely ever injured by the time he got old. But getting injured as an old quarterback, yeah.
Not fun.
Not fun. As an old player, period, not just quarterback. As an old player, yeah, it's hard to come back from that.
Well, Aaron, you still have pretty eyes. Those will never leave, but it's probably time to hang up your cleats, brother.
Man, get an OnlyFans for your eyes, man.
You know what? I'll subscribe. These eyes are amazing. That has been great as usual talking to you. But we're gonna play our game, and because y'all cry like big babies every game, I've got multiple choice this time. Is that better for you? Is that better?
I'm ready.
I don't know.
I'm ready.
I'm always ready.
Now you ready, Sid?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I didn't say the name of the game. We're playing What You Know, and that is to just test your knowledge of NFL trivia.
She says multiple choice, right?
B, go B every time. B and C. B, C, B, C.
All right, I'm ready.
What player won the NFL MVP and Super Bowl MVP in the same season? Was it Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, or Peyton Manning?
That could be all of them. Is it? I'm gonna say Tom Brady.
Jay?
Super Bowl and league MVP. Actually, I'm gonna go Kurt Warner.
You're both wrong, Pat Mahomes.
What?
Well,
How did Kurt not win? How did Kurt not win?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, y'all talk to the.
Huh. Okay. All right.
I'm tired of y'all arguing with me every week.
I'll be arguing. We be arguing with ourselves in our heads. Like,
you say, how did Kurt? Hey, Patrick Mahomes. Who is the only defensive player to have won the NFL MVP award? Was it Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, or J.J. Watt?
Lawrence Taylor.
LT.
What is the name of the NFL draft pick who is selected last? Is it last call, final choice, Mr. Irrelevant, or the ultimatum?
C, Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. Which NFL team has the most Hall of Fame inductees? The Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
The Bears.
What?
Really?
That one ain't real football when they was looking at it.
Okay.
You know what? Sad. I'll see you this weekend. Don't do that, bro.
Hey, ain't nobody been to the Bears Hall of Fame since, well, I guess early.
You can play for them, whatever. Who is the youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Was it Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, or Russell Wilson?
Patty Mo.
Patty.
Big Ben.
How was Ben? When did Ben get to the
Big
league?
Ben? Big Ben won it. Oh wait, he was that's right. He was like second year in the league when they won it in Detroit with the bus.
Look.
No, that's us. We arguing with ourselves.
Was that first or second year? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was. But Big Ben was really like 30 years old when he left college. So, so we ain't really counting that. He just lied.
What team did Joe Montana finish his NFL career with? Was it San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, or Miami Dolphins?
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Correct. Who was the first player in NFL history to throw for over 5,000 yards in a season? Was it Peyton Manning,
Marino,
Drew Brees, or Tom Brady?
Marino.
Correct. Which team has lost the most Super Bowls? Was it Denver Broncos, New England,
Buffalo Bills,
or Minnesota Vikings?
Buffalo.
Hey, but Denver tried to give him a run though.
It's Denver Broncos, actually.
What? Well, I guess Denver did lose. Denver went like on 2 losing streaks, I think.
Yeah.
Who was the first unanimous MVP in NFL history? Was it Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, or Peyton Manning?
I'm going with Tom Brady.
Unanimous?
Unanimous. The first one.
Oh, the first one. Say that over.
No, not the very first one, but who was the first unanimous MVP in NFL history?
All right, give us the
Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, or Peyton Manning?
I'm sticking with Tom Brady. At some point, MVP.
I'm gonna go Lamar. I'm gonna say Lamar.
And you are correct, Jameion.
Yeah.
You said at some, you said at some point, Cedric.
Huh?
You said at some point what?
Tom Brady and MVP, you got to be right if you just keep saying Tom Brady.
That's what my guest did last week. We were doing Atlanta Falcons tribute, and she just kept saying Julio Jones.
You got to be right if you keep saying the same thing.
Last one. Who holds the record for the longest field goal in NFL history? Was it Matt Prater, Justin Tucker, Adam Vinatieri, I don't know, and Jason Elam?
Tuck. It's Tuck now. Tuck. 65?
I don't know. I'm going to go with Jason Elam because I ain't never heard of him.
It is Jason Tucker.
Justin Tucker.
I'm sorry,
Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri.
Baltimore.
Vinatieri. I was like this. Vinatieri.
Vinatieri.
I
They got
remember him.
pizza. They got pasta over there.
I hadn't heard their name in so long. I was like, well, guys, as usual, it is a pleasure doing the show with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Guys, please follow me at She Say Sports on Facebook. She Say Sports 23 on Instagram. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia, Jameion, and Ced with She Say Sports. Peace.